Hey, don't stab everybody. Calm down.
I'm transferring back. She's getting the bag. She didn't call me.
What's up? Okay, hold on. No, I'm just gonna. But yeah, I probably should.
How are you doing? All right. Let's get started. All right, we're gonna go over some fundamentals this morning, presenting interview KT stuff. We'll start with the KT, and then we'll shift to the close of the interview. Before we go into both of those, you know, there's a mentality you have to have when presenting here, right? In a direct, face-to-face business, right? And I know sometimes there's different methods, right? Where some people, you guys can send messages on social media or emails, right? We have email campaigns. You know, there's phone calling, but at the end of the day, this is a face-to-face business. Okay? You're doing presentations. You can do them in groups, small groups, but most of the presentations that we do are going to be one-on-one, okay? And you are going to be discipling. What does that mean? You are going to be transferring your energy, your passion, your excitement from you to another person. You're going to be asking for a check, getting a client or a recruit to take action. And then ideally, somebody's watching you and they can see that over and over again. Okay? And you have to just have the right mentality before presenting to people. You know, I've made thousands of phone calls. I've done thousands of interviews, thousands of appointments, and sometimes you can lose your focus, right? And you have to remember that's game time, right? When you're in front of people, like they're you know, if you look at some of these commercials, right? You guys know me, right? I love taking pills. Love it. But if you see any commercial, right? Think about that. I mean, really think about it. It's like, this is you, right? You are, if you see a commercial, whatever it is, Cialis, Viagra, whatever it is. I'm being serious. No, I'm not, like, you think I'm joking? I'm not. You see something on blood pressure medication for somebody, diabetes, something. Do they have, like, the people taking the medicine on television, they're like living a great life. Yeah. You understand? Like now they could have, like, I was in the fog and then now it's a color, but I'm walking with my dog. I have like you're that, like you're using the Primerica product. What kind of commercial are you? Right? You're using it. You're using the Primerica opportunity and you're depressed. You're frustrated. You're angry. Why would I want to take this pill? I'm not going to take that pill. I want to take Cialis. Because it looks like it's the magic pill. So when you meet with people, right, like you are the advertisement. You know, if you go to a company's website, if you go to, whatever it is, you know, usually they have happy people using their product, right? I mean, you know, and that's you. That's what you got to be. And I understand, like, that is the challenge of being a positive person. That's the challenge of being an entrepreneur is, you know, compartmentalizing what's going on and putting on, you know, just a positive attitude, right? Wearing it. And that's I think, like I said, it's difficult for a lot of people, all right? So, anyways, so like I said, we're gonna go through the KT first, and I wanna go over the points of the KT. I've gone on a few appointments, done some interviews this month, and you know, I'm very critical of myself, so I look at, you know, what I've done right, what I've done wrong. I always look at what I've done wrong and where I could do better. My brother and I had a little bit of recruiting success this month. Obviously, he takes the lion's share of the credit, but I'm there with him doing the work, making the calls, doing the interviews, right? We're at 5 recruits right now. That's that he's at 5 recruits, but obviously, so double digit is not like, it's not like impossible. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, we did this in a week and a half, right? Maybe 3 weeks, right? So if I can do it, right, with the limited amount of time that I work, you can do it, right? But we missed a lot of interviews. We had a lot of no-shows. We've had a lot of, we've left a lot of points on the board, right? I mean, I feel like that. I just went on a KT with somebody, fully qualified, perfect client, should have been the perfect client. And I look at what I did wrong, right? Like, where did I go wrong? And obviously, a brick's a brick, right? I mean, you can't do a lot of things with a brick, but if you feel like you could have done certain things better, you're always going to wear that, right? And fundamentals, that's why I wanted to train on this, because fundamentals are so important. They never get old. And sometimes, to build a great big organization, you have to have extremely strong fundamentals. And with this KT, so I have a recruit that we're training, very excited about her, set an appointment, hot market, fully qualified, and there's time constrictions on whether this recruit will do the business or not. We really had to walk the recruit off the ledge, like many times you have to do, right? I mean, all the time, especially in the beginning, till they get it. Somebody said this to me a long time ago, your recruits go out like a match. So if you think about that, a match is on fire and then out in 1 second.
Mm-hmm.
So they're excited, they're positive, they're ready to conquer the world, then they're out, right? So think about that, right? So, I slow played a little bit, right? I only set 1 appointment because I was like, well, I don't want to overwhelm this person with 2 or 3 appointments. And I went against what I know is right, which is setting more than 1 appointment, because you are not guaranteeing, but you're really lining the odds up. You're stacking the deck if you do 3 appointments. And while it was a good learning experience, it was good training, I know what the results are. The results are, especially for those top appointments, you got to go 3 for 3, right? You got to set the, if you have somebody willing and they've set 1 appointment, get those first 3, get those great 3, get those top 3, and go out and go 3 for 3. And one night, they're going to be out, they're going to be out. They're going to have a sitter, they're going to have a sitter. Just say, hey, look, just give me 1 night. Don't even worry about anything else. Just give me 1 night in the field. Let's just go out. We're going to complete 50% of your training tonight. And I believe that. Could be more. And you set those appointments, you set them strong, you use the proper verbiage, and you go out and see the hot market. I did not do that, right? And I'm leaving it to chance, and that's just not what you want to do. All right, so let's talk about the steps of the KT. I'm not sure how much I'll actually go through. Do we have a remote?
I got you.
Okay. I'm not sure how much I'll go through it. Okay, perfect. Thanks. But I did want to go through some of these points. Just like I said, if you're brand new, which I don't know how many new people we have, I think everybody, this is training that would be very appropriate. So I don't think it's going to go over anybody's head. All right. So we always open up with rapport, okay, in the KT. Why? Right. I mean, I don't want you spending 30 minutes. I don't even want you spending 10 minutes. Spend a minute or 2 getting to know them, asking a couple questions, loosen them up, like Donald said, right? People, they want to do business with people that like them, that are like them. They have commonality. I remember, I used to go to a lot of concerts, right? When I was younger, I'd see everybody. I like all types of music, but the best performers, the best ones ever, they come. I'd see, I don't even know if anybody knows. Let's see, what are some young people in here? Right, I guess it's not. You know who Wyclef is? Have you heard of him?
From the 1900s.
Black Eyed Peas. This is what it's come to. Yeah, he's from the Beatles. But Wyclef was a great performer, right? I loved all his music, but if you ever saw him live in concert, the guy was ridiculous. And what he'd do, he'd always do this. I would go around seeing him in different places, right? Whether he came to Virginia Tech or Radford or DC or whatever, whatever was around. He'd wear a local athlete's jersey. So if it was Rod Strickland at the time, you know Rod Strickland.
Yes.
Right? A couple of guys know Rod Strickland. Or Michael Vick, when he came to Virginia Tech, he wear the Michael Vick jersey. And what does it do, right? It builds a loyalty to the group. And we got excited. And that's what you're doing when you build rapport. You're not being not genuine. You're being authentic, but you're interested. You're interested in them, right? Always remember, nobody cares about you. Nobody. They do not care. They don't care about your kids. They don't care about who built the company. They don't care how hard it was for you to build the company, how hard you work. They don't give two craps about that. They care about them, their kids, their problems, their solutions. Now look, if you ask them about them and they start talking and you have some commonality, that's a great people skill. And I'll explain a little bit more later on the interview process of telling your story and things like that, but always remember, none of this is about you. Get all of that out. Why are you ever talking about you is because you're just trying to establish credibility. Okay, and more important, this is a bad word, but I want to give you a good visualization and context. Authority. I can help you, right? That's the only reason you're gonna kind of pat yourself on the back a little bit, but more importantly, it's not. They just don't care. Okay. So we always build rapport because people do business with people that they like and trust. Okay? And building rapport, the main thing is asking them questions about them. A good people skill is people listening to themselves talk about themselves to you. That is a friendly person. Think about that. This is my friend. You know what a friend is? It's someone that will allow them to talk about themselves to you. Okay, you guys know the questions, right? Ruby, what's my favorite question? I don't know if you know this, but what's my favorite question to ask to build rapport?
I'm not sure. Have you ever had a financial planner?
Okay, that's how we get into work. That's not a building a rapport question. But say you're sitting down with me and my wife, I'm wondering what you're doing here. You're training Jen. I know Jen. I kind of know Jen. Jen awkwardly asked me for an appointment and made me say yes, and I'm here, and you're here, and I'm like, okay, what's going on? Right?
How long have you been married?
Okay.
Kids.
Okay. How long have you been married? That's okay. I guess that's okay. You have a picture of your kids? Huh? How did you meet? Okay, that's usually a good question. Okay. Because it builds some good nostalgia, right? Now read the situation properly, right? If they're snarling at each other and on the verge of killing each other, that's the question. Yeah. But if they look a little pleasant and they look happy, how did you meet? Okay? This is not a suggestion to you. Listen up, okay?
Oh, man.
Nice glasses. You gotta see. Huh? Yeah. You can sit down. All right, where was I? It's not a suggestion, right? I mean, don't reinvent the playbook, right? Use my question. I'll pat myself on the back. I am a people skill wizard. Okay, that's not a joke. Like when I'm at the kitchen table, that's how I do what I do. Is I get to know people. I like people. I love doing appointments. I do. I hate driving, but I love doing the appointment. I really do. I thoroughly love it. Right. I left a message the other day. That's the ultimate chess match is the kitchen table. It's the most fun 30, 45 minutes of skill work that you can do. And helping somebody, talking to somebody, meeting somebody, it's awesome, right? But how you start is very important, right? And so, how'd you meet? And then talk a little bit, and then get down to business after a minute. All right. Then after we go through the first slide, and how do we intro? Right. Hey, thank you for allowing me to train Donna. Say some nice things about the recruit. Compliment people. Right. That's bringing very positive energy. Donald's doing great. I'm excited about him. Right? Especially if this is a child, you're training somebody or a younger sibling or something, right? And you're talking about them positively in a good light, and it's authentic. Yeah. Man, I've never seen somebody this young, this motivated, this focused, man. Wow. Very excited about her. Whoa. Right? I mean, you say, and, we're doing some training, she's registered for class or doing some classroom training. Now we're out in the field, and 1 hour in the field is like 20 in the classroom. So we really appreciate your time, even though we're going to go through this, okay? So what I want you to do, I want you to ask a ton of questions. And then this is another thing you always do, but I'm going to treat you like a real client. I'm going to treat you like a real client so she can see how this process works. Mm-hmm. 1 hour in the field, 1 hour in the field is like 20 in the classroom. This is our first hour in the field. Or this is one of our first hours in the field. Or this is my first hour. Like say they've been on a few appointments with another trainer. This is our first hour in the field. So usually when we share this information, usually 3 things happen. Right? People get excited. They start thinking of other people. They see value for themselves. I'd love to earn your business. I'm going to go through all this in detail. I'm going over the outline. And partnership always looking for people. By the way, and you can do it even before that. If you feel it's tense, the first question I ask for is, by the way, has anyone done any financial work for you? Okay. And I'm sorry, I forgot this because this is in my outline. Very, very first thing when you sit down. What did they tell you about this? Right? When you're getting after you're building rapport, hey, what did Josh tell you about our company? Just want to hear, right? I did that this past appointment. Yeah, they said you do insurance. Okay. So, but they didn't say it in a negative way, right? So you just know where you are. Like, okay, so and always remember this, right? Like, you're going to navigate an appointment. You're going to navigate an interview, okay? But write this down. It's very important. Never apologize for our product. Never apologize for how we do business. Okay? If you are an apologist, a Primerica apologist, let somebody else go on the appointment. Let somebody else do the interview. It's not for you. Okay? Your mentality, right, has to be, I believe in my product. Write this down. I believe in my product. I believe it'll change your life. and you need it. I believe in my product. I believe it will change your life, and you need it. Okay. So, what do they tell you? Blah, blah, blah. And then we ask that, has anyone ever done any financial work for you? Okay. Has anyone ever done? And if you feel any hint of arrogance or anything before you ask a question, you may want to load it up a little bit. Has anybody done any comprehensive financial planning? Okay. They usually are going to say no. They might say yes. Okay. If they say no, what do we say, Robert?
Okay, well, that's fine. Now, a lot of times I sit with a responsible family and tell them no. It's for one of three reasons. One being they didn't think they needed it like some did. Two being they just never got around to it. But three, they couldn't afford it. Now I know one, because you seem like responsible. That's probably not true, but which are the other two reasons you best fit or best describe?
Okay. Close, that's close. Now, number one, we didn't need it. Love how you did that, right? That's exactly how I do. We don't need it, right? Just kind of dismissing it very arrogantly. No one wants, if they have any sort of awareness, no one's going to want to say that. They might. Okay. Two, they didn't think they could afford it. Okay. Two is always they didn't think they could afford it. Three, just never got around to it. Classic case of life, kids, job, procrastination. Just never got around. Just they feel something that they need. Which one of those best describes you? Okay. Now, I like what you did there, Robert. I do not do that. I don't say, I know it wouldn't be number one. I don't say that. I want to actually hear what they say because I just want to see where I'm at in the process. Most of the time, I would say only 1 out of 20, maybe 1 out of 10. 10% are going to say, we don't think we needed it. If they say they don't need it, I'm going to ask to clarify, right? I said, when you say you don't need like a financial plan, what exactly do you mean? And I'll hear whatever they're going to spew out. And I just want to see if it's just complete nonsense or, hey, I do research on my own or something like that. That's okay. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I just want to see where I am, right? Because then, if they say I do research on my own, right? What does that mean? No. What does that mean for the appointment? Huh? Okay. So if you are a landscaper, okay, like you're a landscaper and you're trying to get a client, and you go to somebody and they say, hey, and they take pride. And man, I cut my own grass, I trim my own things, I do this, I feel like I have the best yard in the neighborhood. And you're a landscaper. You're going to tiptoe a little bit, right? Before you destroy, if you go in and you say, and you're a landscaper, and they say, yeah, man, my wife has been on me for so long, I need to get this problem fixed. Yeah, okay, let's talk, right? So you got to understand the type of business you're doing, right? If they say they do their research, they take it personal. They're very attached to it. They're going to be prideful about it. So you have to be smart in destroying their financial plan. Because you can be right or you can get a check. I'm interested in getting checks. Okay? I'm not interested in winning arguments. Okay? I want to drive back from the appointment knowing I got paid. Not my recruit thinks I am the smartest person in the world because I reduced the client. That shows poor people skills, right? Because even people that do things themselves, they do need help. And if you can show them how they can adjust, you can do business, right? So that question is very important. You're not going to hear that a lot. I don't need it. But you might. You got to know that's just a yellow light. Okay. Now, if they say anything afford it or never got around to it. If they say never got around to it, what do we say?
So, okay. All right, so if what I presented today makes sense, find something to figure out.
That's what you gotta say right there. Yeah, like right there, 5 seconds.
Check.
Wow. Hey, what's your social? That's the Donald. I know Donald. Now you pull up, I know, you've been doing my curls, man. Well, I'm not that, I don't have that type of gall. I got Robert. I'll tell you what I do, okay, so. What do you say, Jim? They say, we just never got around to it.
So I say, so you feel as though it's something that you can
Yeah. Right, that's all, just, right, ease it in, right, we're there, right? Takes 9 months to have the baby. Okay? We don't want it to come out right away. And let baby incubate a little bit, right? Put some weight on that, right? Always remember, there is, I agree, you don't sell past the close, but if you rush the close, that's a chargeback, 100%. Okay? Client doesn't know why they need it, they don't understand the commitment, they don't understand why, they buy it, they got really excited, 3 minutes later, they didn't die, they cancel it.
Yeah.
Right? So you gotta understand the plan, how it works, this, that. I'm being for real, right? Like, I mean, think about this, right? I have a business, we do 110 clients a month, right? Every single month. I've trained indirectly or directly you guys, okay? The biggest group of misfits in the world to close life insurance in this area, right? So just, trust the process a little bit, right? So they say, never got around to it. Absolutely. Hey, oh, okay. So you feel that this is something that could benefit. Oh, you want to see. They could say, like, I got this. And look, you are, you have to be, there's a lot of stuff going on that you have to read when you're at that kitchen table, right? It's not just, you can't just see what you want to see. You got to see, you got to see the whole field, right? Like what I got. Wife, yeah, definitely. Husband,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
If they're not answering your questions and they're making noises,
Yeah.
that's a problem. Okay? I literally got that. I was like, this. She was like, oh yeah, definitely, something. Right, literally. Some sort of grunt.
Yeah.
I was like, right? And he fought me the whole time, which is ignorance.
Yeah.
Just ignorance. The whole time. Right? So, anyways, so you got to read the situation. You got to read the husband, the wife. The husband could say something, the wife could say something. So the different mentalities, the different attitudes, the different way that they respond. Hopefully, they're on the same page and they say, "Yeah, it's something that we need." And then you start your presentation, right? Obviously, that puts the client right on. I wouldn't say defense, but you have gained some offense, right? You've gotten a first down, right? You get a whole new set of downs. You don't have to punt, right? And so that's why we ask those questions. That's why you always open it up like that, because, like I said, we're going to try to identify some problems, and I'm here to help you. Okay? Now I'm here to talk about myself. Now I'm here to talk about the company. I will do that, but my ultimate goal is to identify the problems, and I'm here to help you. All right? So then we're going to disturb them, right? And we're going to disturb them with talking about the financial crisis. Their body language here is very important. Okay, how they're reacting when you're talking about how people are doing. Okay, and remember, you're not trying to criticize them. Okay, you're trying to show, right? You say things like most people, or you know, what's going on in you know, with people, things like that, where you're softening the blow. You know, again, you can get the, you know, yeah, oh man, geez, yes, absolutely, you know, and you get the non-verbal. They're not saying anything, but they're agreeing with you with their body language, right? And you know, you're identifying problems, and then you talk about financial companies. They don't care about people, right? Because now we're creating, one, an enemy, and two, we're creating our identity, right? Always remember that we're creating our identity, that we do business differently, that we're a different type of company. And then we talk about what we do, okay? Now, look, now that we're gonna start talking about what we do, remember this, okay? Remember this. And it goes, anytime you're presenting the company, we are solving people's financial problems, okay? That's what we're doing. You know, this is not a company that we can't figure out what we're doing. We're not apologizing. Yes, we're there. We're here to talk about money. We're talking about your retirement, protecting your kids. Putting your kids in college. You know, cleaning up this mess of a finance that you have. And that's, I don't say that meaning. I'm nice about it, but this is what we do, right? You have to be very simple in what we do, right? That's what we're talking about. Hey, look, yes, lead in a little bit. Here's the problem. These are the problems. And because this is money, and people take it so personally, especially the men, and that male ego that comes in, they're working, it's their wife, it's their kids, and to think that, man, I have just done a really bad job, and you're gonna come expose every one of my flaws.
In front of my wife.
In front of, right? Think about it. They're going to be reluctant to share. So that's why we tread softly. But here it's like, look, we help people with money. I just went over, financial companies aren't helping people. It's terrible out there. And I am here, right at your home. I have a license. And always remember this, okay? Some companies, they actually have to worry about their products. They don't know if their product is the best. They don't know if their product is actually helping people. We don't got to worry about that. They got to worry about their company and how solid their company. I mean, just to let you know, right? When I started here, our company was $1.5 billion. When we went public, sorry. Now we're $5.5 billion. When I started here, we had 2,000 offices. Now we have 4,000. I mean, like, we had, I think, 50 millionaires when I started back in 2004, right? Now we have almost 100. All the other financial institutions are kind of getting gobbled up. Our company had 90,000 life licensed people. Now we have 130,000, right? It's like, you know, it's a crazy industry how we're taking over. It's like this is Walmart, this is Amazon, this is McDonald's. Now, I'm not saying it's going to have the same crazy trajectory, but, you know, it's just like we're just slowly dominating methodically the rest of the financial industry. You know, the last 8 years have been incredible, or 9 years, you know, we're celebrating in April 10 years of being publicly traded, right? Like, it's just nuts. So you don't have to worry about any of that stuff. and you can focus on them. We're here to help people with money, right? This is what we do. We help people. Very simple. And we're a different type of company. Okay. Then we're establishing credibility. So from that, this is our company. Okay, remember, obviously talk a little bit about it because credibility, trust is important, but they don't care about this stuff. Okay, you're going to ask questions, you're going to disturb them. That's what you're going to do. All right. Okay. So compound interest, right? Why do we do this? Uncover spending habits. Okay. Not just to find out how much money they waste. Yes, ideally, we want to find out if they waste a lot of money. That really helps us. But it's also to uncover spending habits of the client. See how they feel about money. See which party wastes money. If both of them waste money, which one is really tight. If they say they're really tight, then you got to quantify how you're saving them money. Because then they'll do it, because logically they say, wow, I'm overpaying for something. I don't even like wasting a nickel, right? You can tell a lot about somebody by how they spend, right? So uncovering spending habits. Okay, purpose of life insurance. So when we get here, right, what's the worst thing that can happen to a family financially? Very great. It's a great question. Very good question, right? Find out a lot about if they understand how important their income is, right? If they've had any previous history with someone passing away prematurely, if they've been at a work for a long time. And then the three main questions, right? What's the worst thing that can happen to a family financially? That's one. If something happened to you, would you want your family standard of living better, worse, or minimum stay the same? Now, obviously, ideally, we want better. Better is great, right? If they say better, that's such a, if they say the same, even, that's a real strong yellow, man, right? They don't see the value of life insurance. They say the same, right? Maybe they've never been affected. Maybe they don't trust you. Maybe they don't trust the company. Maybe they feel they still have a negative connotation about insurance. This is what I'm starting to realize as I go on field training appointments. Now, obviously, they're never going to say, they really shouldn't say worse, but better, that's not a great answer. I mean, not better. The same is not a great answer. Okay? You have a lot of work to do. Okay? And better, they have a very good, healthy attitude about this. So you just kind of let you know where you are in the fight, right? They say the same. Okay. If something did happen to you today, God forbid, if you were to die, would they have the same standard of living financially? Yes. Oh, how? Why do you say that? Do you have something in place? And then here's the plan, right? They could say some things like, well, don't move, or my parents live here, or this and that, right? Which is obviously some stupidity. They could say, I've had this many times, right? Where the guy said, oh yeah, no, I got stuff. Right?
I got what?
I got stuff.
Yeah.
Right? Anybody have that? I gotta take care of it. Right? And then, you can't roll your eyes, you can't get flustered, you can't get angry. You just got to realize there's a big trust issue, or this guy has nothing. Okay? And always remember this, just so you understand. Okay? Wealthy people, any sort of wealthy person, they have life insurance. Because, $500,000 for like $50, $60 a month for like somebody young, and it's literally free. Like, awesome. Look, I know people, they have properties, they have this, but people that don't want to spend $50 to $60 a month, $100 a month when you're making $100,000 a year, to have $500 to $1 million of coverage, like, this is free, man. You know, you could be young and to get $250,000 for $31, $30, $1 a day, to not have insurance, to have a influx of cash upon your debt. Like, they don't get it. They don't understand, and it's completely wrong. So you're not wrong. Okay, always remember that. We're not apologizing. Okay, now we can navigate politely and properly. We're never going to apologize. Insurance is the greatest thing in the freaking world, man. You can go on a medical exam and get coverage for 30 years, and we have guaranteed conversion. You could literally have coverage till you're 85 years old for nothing. So, you know, hey, I believe in my product, and I believe it'll change your life, and I think you need it. I think you need it, right? But you just got to navigate it properly. So if they say, no, we don't, okay, you know, that's what we do. We help people bridge that gap, right? Okay. Financial house. Emphasize foundation, right? Asking questions. Where would you start? Would you use cheap material? Especially if you're not getting good signals and yes momentum on the previous questions. Got to really emphasize income protection, okay? Now I'm just going to go, like I said, I'm going through parts of this. I'm not going to go through all the words, but how much coverage do you currently have? If they have no coverage or they have a policy, what's our goal? Get the policy. How do we get the policy? Create doubt. Okay, always remember that. In anything you do, you want to create some doubt. Just let them know they're just a little uncertain or unsure, because then they're more willing to come up off the policy. Okay. And the most important thing here during the quadrant, the most important thing, always remember, and really the whole entire presentation, is getting commitments. Okay, I don't care what you say or how good your presentation is or what you show on the video. That's awesome. That's important, but you have to get the commitments. You have to ask the little bit tough, awkward questions, right? And you know, you're a poker player, right? So, you know, you gotta be a good actor here, right? I teach people all the time, when the situations get tense, what do you do? What do you do when you're gonna ask a tough question and the situation gets tense? What do you do?
Quiet.
You right? Quiet down. You don't get angry. You don't get facial expressions, right? You whisper a little bit. You say it nicely. You're firm, right? So say, for example, we go into, right, no insurance, right? Currently you have no little life insurance on your own. Say, because we're gonna destroy group, then we go to no insurance. Usually when it's due to one of the following 3 reasons, right? Didn't see a need for it, didn't think it for it, and didn't get around to it. Which one best describes you? I never got around to it. Okay? You got to ask this. Okay? So say you're feeling some sort of way to ask this question. Okay? And always remember, it doesn't just work out. You have to get the clients to take action, which means get commitments and write a check. Okay? Is protecting your family important enough that you would be willing to begin setting aside some money each month to take care of this? Okay, if they say no, right? What do you say? What do you say, Donald? If I just say I don't understand the question, or I'm like, no. What do we do?
I never got that.
Huh?
I never got.
Okay, has anybody ever gotten it? Okay, what do you do?
So normally I'll just kind of step back and say, well, it sounds to me, I just want to make sure, I want to clarify with you, because earlier you guys mentioned that you did the exercise with $200. you guys mentioned that you guys spend $300, $400 a month. You mentioned earlier that this was important enough for you guys to set aside some money for, you felt that there was a need for this. So I just want to clarify, I'm a little confused right now. What would stop you guys from actually setting aside some money each month to take care of this?
Yeah, okay. I like what you did. I would, okay. If you get this, okay, and like I said, this is film room right now. We're literally studying what's gonna happen at the kitchen table, okay? I have gotten this. I don't get it a lot, Donald, but I have gotten it. Is this a yellow or a red? It's a red. This is a you hear tires screeching. Right? Like, we have come to a halt. Okay? Emergency brake has come on. We cannot move from this. Okay? We cannot go, okay, let me just skip this. This isn't a big deal. Okay? Let me just get to the bank account question later. Okay? That ain't happening. Okay? So, I agree, Joel, you step back. Okay? Ultimately, what is the issue?
They either don't think that they need it right now, or they think it's a money commitment thing, or they just don't.
Okay. So let's read the question, right? Let's read the question. Let's play chess. Let's see what our opponent sees. Okay? We're going through, you came over, it's fun. Okay? Is protecting your family important enough? You said, are you underinsured? If you died, what would happen? Better, all this, all that. Okay? So, right? And Donald, you look cool, man. Yeah, awesome, man. Yeah, we're from the same town. Cool, man. Yeah, I know. I see you looking at my wife, but whatever. You know? I don't even care about that. But then is protecting your family important enough you would be willing to begin setting aside some money each month to take care of it? Shit just got real. Okay? And look, I'm okay with them saying no. That's actually better than yes, but not willing to write the check later.
Yeah.
Okay? So I'm not just trying to brush over this. This is a very important question. Now, I don't have to really come at them, but hey, is protecting your family important enough? You would be willing to begin setting aside some money each month to take care of this? I want them to clearly understand what I'm asking. Now, if they say no, okay, and you may not get this here, but you're going to get it later if you've missed the sale, okay? And always remember this, in this book I'm reading, right, they talk about building the story brand, which it's very applicable to our company, but I think some of the stuff is for websites and things like that, right? And they said, a huge problem with companies and their websites is you don't know what they do. He goes, and the website is a bunch of information. Like they talk about this, right? And that's what this you go to a website and it talks about the awards they have. Well, we've been rated this, and it's true, nobody cares. What do you do? I don't care about the awards you have, right? I don't care that you have the customer service. What? And they said that most companies, they don't even have a button on their website to say purchase. Right? And the whole book, it talks about the genius of Apple. Who's Apple? Who's Team Apple here? And who's Team Android? And they said, I can't believe they still make this. Okay. Whether Apple or Android is better, I don't know. But we know this for a fact. Apple's simpler.
Yes.
It's cleaner. Right? Now look, I think the functionality of the Android, everybody likes Android better. It can do more, but Apple's simpler. Their marketing is simpler. Right? It's just very easy to buy stuff, to do stuff, to download stuff, and it's clicking one button. So, anyways, what was my point? Oh, so we're going to try to get business tonight. Okay, that's our goal, right? We're going to take the order. We're going to get you some coverage. Let's get you some coverage, right? So what we have to work them to get to that point. So this may not come up here, okay? It shouldn't. It's going to be rare, but it's going to come up. And the issue, well, is money, okay? This is protecting your family important enough that you want to take care of this. Yeah. No. That you would be willing to begin. Now, this is very nice to say, okay? You would begin setting aside some money each month to take care of this. Okay?
Just want to add, because last time one of my last appointments, we actually stopped right there, and the husband knew that this was going to lead into the real commitment questions. It was going to, like,
Right.
He sensed the money questions, like, it's going to start happening right now.
Yeah. And you're going to get that. If someone's extremely like, I see what you're doing, or, you know.
Yeah.
You know, and yeah, I mean, you see what I'm doing. You don't have protection, man. You have kids. Like, I'm glad you see it. Yeah, I'm not apologizing for what I'm doing here. I'm here to talk to you about your situation. I mean, you have young children, man. And you have debt, and you have a job, and your family's dependent on your income, and if you die, what's going to happen? Let's talk about it. Oh, you don't want to talk about it? That's fine. I'll try to talk about it, and if there's absolutely, I'll leave, right? I'm not going to apologize. This is how we do business. Referrals, we go, we sit people. You know how many of my clients have died from field training appointments? No, I mean that. Probably every one of them was a referral or somebody trying to win something, a stupid incentive, and they pushed hard to get a client. They got a client, and God forbid, but that client passes away prematurely, and they still have coverage. Because everybody does die. Always remember that. That's 100%. You're going to that. We just don't know when you're going to die. Okay? Now, I know we never feel like that. Right? We never feel that you know, but that doesn't, you know, that's the nature of the world we live in. But, so if they say that, well, I don't think you should go, do not run to you waste money right away. That's the only thing I would critique you, okay? Come back to the commitments of why you need this, okay? We're not gonna make this a money issue yet, okay? The first thing, no, say, and you step back and say, oh, okay, hey, so just let me clarify. I just want to make sure I'm clear on this, Donald. You said when I asked you that you were underinsured. And you said that, hey, you know, if something happened, I want my family to have a better standard of living. But right now, if something did happen, they would not have a better standard of living. And you said that you just never got around to it. So how would you take care of that need? I'm just wondering, like, what is it about? Is it not important enough? I would say that. I want them to say it's the money. Then when they say the money, say, oh, okay. And then you still don't pounce. You say, oh, I would reconfirm it. I'd say, so you do feel underinsured. You do feel this is important. And you do feel you need to get around to it. It's just the money. So if the money weren't an issue, you would definitely protect your family. Then we're going to say you waste money. Right? You can't just attack. This is not a fight. It's chess. Right? You play chess, right? I like to play chess, right? You got to think a couple moves ahead. You can go berserk and just go after all the opponent's pieces. That's not what great chess players do. They let you move, and then they get one player. They don't even take that. Right, Donald? Right? You play chess, right? They'll put you in a. You know what I do to you all the time, right? So you lock a people do it in pool too, right? Like in pool, like if you leave a ball in the pocket, and it's blocking the pocket, you don't even need to hit that ball in.
Right.
Right? So you let them come to you. Right? You put them in a spot where they can't move. Don't just, oh, no, and then start fighting. No. That's not how we play the game here, right? I want to know, okay, hey, is it this? And let them say it. Oh, okay, so you do feel you're underinsured. You do, that was the thing, and you haven't got around to it. What is it? Is it protecting your family not important enough? Or begin, like, meaning you don't want to do that now, or, and then see. And yes, Joel, 99.9 is going to be money. And if they're fighting me tremendously and they're not saying it, I'll just say, if it were free, would you want it? I'll say that. Then that's my last. That's my ace in the hole. Hey, if it were free, would you want it? That's money. And then yes, there's priorities. What's more important? Okay. And look, here's for you too, right? We don't want to read these fast. Okay? This isn't cheating answers to the test, man. Yeah, once they've given us the check and they pulled it out, yeah, I want to go really quickly, okay? Height, weight, but this question, no, is protecting your family important enough? You would be willing to begin setting aside some money each month to take care of this. And what if they say no, right? I mean, that's what I mean. You're not going to say it in a mean way. You're going to say it nice and soft. So you wouldn't be willing to do that, right? Like you say it like you wouldn't be willing to, right? Like you wouldn't be willing to protect your family, right? I just want you to know what you're saying, right? Like, I have those conversations with people all the time, right? Like I do that, like, hey, Shondell, right? And my dad would do this with me, right? How's your report card? We got straight A's, 2 B's, 2 C's and an E. And my dad would always do that. He's like, so you got 1 A. I don't say it like that. Yes. That's how people do that, right? And I do that to people. You guys do it to me all the time. Hey, how last night go? Yeah, man, I had 2 appointments. And they reschedule. I'm like, so you had 0. But they said it. They literally said it. I had 2 appointments, but see, you had no appointment. Right? But that's what I do to my dad. I promise you, I'd say it just like that. Just like you guys. Oh, I literally said I got straight A's. I got straight A's. Oh, really? Yeah. I got 2 B's. Oh, so you got 1 A. But that's what I would say. Trying to trick my dad. Right? That's it. So you're calling them on it, right? These commitment questions is very important. So we can put together a program that's affordable for you. Is there any reason you wouldn't implement that program? Okay. All right, during the coverage quadrant, right? Also, and I didn't go over this, we want to identify the 5 big mistakes, right? When it comes to insurance. Number 1, not making life insurance a priority, treating it as a luxury. Look, you want to build a great, big life insurance business, and you want to become a life insurance expert, okay? Because at the end of the day, if you ever want to be really full-time here, you have to be able to close 10 sales a month. Okay? I know that may seem like a lot. It's not. It's activity, but being good at closing. Not making life insurance a priority. Number 2, depending on group life insurance. That's a huge mistake. One of the 5 critical mistakes of life insurance, right? Never, ever, 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 ever depend on group. 3, buying cash value. Worst ripoff ever. any financial product, cash value is the worst. 4, buying term from a cash value company. And 5, not having enough. So I just went through no coverage. Destroy group life, right? Always remember you only get one shot to destroy group. Got to destroy it. Group is the biggest enemy we have. You got to show the videos, got to get the commitments. Okay, dime, right? Has anyone ever shown you how to calculate the need for insurance? Right? These are just commitment questions. Always remember that. Okay, this is not going to help us calculate how much they actually need. They're just commitment questions. How do we calculate how much they need? What is it based on? How much the monthly dollar commitment that they can have. Okay? There's an art of the quote. Yes.
I have a question, or something to sort of bring out. I have a potential client, and he's about to close and all that, so we're getting back together on Saturday. But he has 2 children with special needs. So if he went missing, not only would he lose his income, but he puts in like $200,000 of medical expenses every year into his, I mean, he pays peanuts for his health insurance to work.
Okay.
But so he racks it up. I mean, they're paying a big bill. So I suppose that is, for me, this is something that I'm putting in the doc. You know, it's like, if you went missing, how would you pay for the medical bills?
Okay. What's the question?
So to add that on to debt, or how would you put it in the dime?
I would.
Expenses.
Okay, so, and I'm not sure if this will answer, but I'll, you can take from it what you think. Do you have any private insurance right now? Okay. So first-time insurance buyers, okay, it doesn't matter how much you quote them. It doesn't matter if they are not budgeting for it, it's going to be too high, and you're not going to get a check. Okay. So they can have all the need in the world. Okay. And that is obviously a very obvious need. If you have children with high medical bills, that you have to upkeep. And that is an extreme example of cost for a child, but every child is cost, right? Every child is cost and a lot of money. And if a parent or breadwinner is not around, that child is going to suffer financially tremendously. Okay? Obviously, especially if the child has special needs. If the client cannot get their head around making a financial commitment, I don't care how much the need is, you're not going to close it. Okay? Everyone understand? So until they say, I want this, and if they are a super responsible family and you feel you're shortchanging them, give them the bigger amount in the triplicate of choice. But if you want to actually get some coverage, because some coverage is better than no coverage, okay? Or how about this? Some coverage is better than the perfect quote. You guys are great at quoting. Can't close. But man, your dimes are perfect. You got dimes for days. No, I'm serious. You went how much they need. They really know how much they need. Don't have any coverage. But they got a great dime. Right? I don't care. Right? I say this too. I don't care what they do. If I feel that they can't do a medical exam because they're irresponsible, they're getting termed now. But at least they got $300,000. So I applied. I closed the max case that never got issued. What happened? I got a charge back. I went through all that trouble, and most importantly, the client does not have protection. Okay? Our job is to get the client some coverage, okay? Yes, if it ideally fits in their budget and they're ready, that's awesome. But if you give a quote, okay, and remember how we did this, okay, and especially, you know, this is how you should do it on the first appointment. You already met them on the first
Yes.
appointment? Okay, did you get a dollar commitment?
Yes, I mean, for securities, but so they also want to do like.
Okay, so if you meet on the first appointment, that's how I used to do all my business, right? You get a dollar commitment. How much can you put towards your plan? Okay? If they say, I can put 500 bucks to my program. Okay, great. I'm going to take a little bit of that for insurance. The rest goes to investments. Somebody pay off your debt, whatever it is. But if you don't talk numbers, trust me, you're not going to close anything, right? And this is not just me. This is not just me saying this. I mean, I talk to people like Jen, right? Averages $8,000 a month of personal premium, right? I mean, it's not like I'm just saying this. I ask her every time, hey, what happened? What about this? What about that, right? So don't get into that habit of trying to get them the right dime. The dime is important, but these are commitment questions. The most important question is, how much can you comfortably set aside? Okay. Know these product benefits from our product. IBR, terminal illness benefit, guaranteed conversion. Okay, I'm not going to go through that, but learn those. IBR, terminal illness benefit, guaranteed conversion. Process close, must memorize. Okay, you got to know the process close. How the process for insurance works. And overcome the objections. The main ones you're always going to get. We want to talk about it. We want to research your company. We want to shop around. Okay, I'm not going to go through those today. Always schedule a return visit. Never leave without having another meeting scheduled. To get referrals, to deliver policies, to get investments, to present the business, just to keep in touch with them. Okay, it's not, hey, I wrote you up, I closed you, I did an awesome presentation, I never see you again. That does not work. Okay, protect your business. Okay, last thing, recruit the sale. Right, recruit the sale. They're a client, they trust you, they like you. Get a recruit from it. Okay. All right. I want to just go through that. Now we'll transition a little for the interview and how to close. Are you? It's up there or up here? All right.